Let's get right into the picks. First player I'm looking at is Terence Mann. Clippers, they're playing Milwaukee tonight. Milwaukee's on a back-to-back. Mann is the Clippers point guard now. Not sure how much help he's going to have tonight. Their starting lineup looks pretty good, but not sure who else is going to be backing them. They traded away John Wall and their other point guard a couple days yesterday. So Mann is at point guard. I expect him to get a lot of minutes. His prop is 11.5 points. I'm going to take the over. As you can see, he's got that over in his last 3 games. I think he goes over again tonight against a tough defense, but Milwaukee's still on the back-to-back. So we're going to take Terence Mann over the 11.5 points. Second play I'm looking at is Joel Embiid. His prop against the Knicks for tonight is 32.5. The game is in. Not sure where the game is at. Let me check real quick. Yeah, I think the game is in. Let's check. See where the New York game is at. It's in Philly. So the game is in Philly. As you can see, he has hit this prop 40% of the time in his last 10 games, 4 out of 10 games. Against the Knicks this year, he's done it 50% of the time. 1 game in New York, second game in New York, he did not hit 32.5. I'm going to take the under on this tonight. I like him to go under 32.5 tonight. New York is decent defensively. This is going to be a close game. I expect it to be a little bit lower scoring. I'm going to take Joel Embiid under 32.5 points for tonight. Third play I'm looking at is Brandon Ingram. His prop is 24.5 now. It was 25.5. This line is going down. On the books, he's around 23.5. So it's 24.5 now. He's facing a tough defense, but as you can see in his last 3 games, he's been scoring a lot. He's killed the prop of, let's push it up to 24.5, 50% of the time. They are in home. The Pelicans are in home against a tough Cleveland team who plays defense very well. So let's look at his home numbers. In home, in his last 10 games, he's hit this 40% of the time. 3 out of his last 5. So I still like the under at 24.5. I really like the under at 25.5. I'm going to start putting these videos out a little bit earlier because we can catch some of these lines before they move. But I really like the under at 25.5. But I still kind of like him at 24.5. So we're going to take Brandon Ingram under 24.5 here. Finally, we're going to go back to that Clippers-Milwaukee game. We're going to look at Paul George. This is what Kawhi's not playing tonight. They don't have Norman Powell. They got Norman Powell. They got Zubac, Morris, and Mann in the starting lineup. Kawhi's out tonight. I expect Paul George to be real aggressive in home tonight. These are George's numbers without Kawhi on the court. In his last 10 games, without Kawhi on the court, he has went over 24.5 points 70% of the time. So this line was a 25.5 early on PrizePicks also, but it came down, and I like it that it came down. I really like it that it came down to 24.5. I think George will exceed this number of 24.5 points for tonight. So here's a recap of what I like for tonight. I like Terence Mann, 11.5 points. I like the more on that. Joel Embiid, 32.5 points versus New York. I like the less on that. Paul George, 24.5 points. I like the more on that. Brandon Ingram, 24.5 points. I like the less on that. I'm going to start getting these videos out a little bit earlier so we can catch some of these lines that favor us in the morning, and I'll make updates throughout the day on Patreon and maybe some other avenues also. But that is all I have for today. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Both those things would be greatly appreciated. Until the next video, peace.